welcome Mayor Wendy LeBlanc and Economic Promotions Coordinator Jasmine Ralph. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Wendy at this point, and she can engage us in what they have to present. Thank you for joining us.
Donna's moving my water over there so that I'd have to go back and forth a few times. And I may need my water, like half the people in Carleton Place, I've got the Carleton Place cold. So if you hear my throat getting kind of throaty and my voice spiraling downward, you know what it is. Well, good morning, everyone. It's just absolutely great to be here. It is a wonderful turnout, and how exciting, all the new members of the Carleton Place Chamber of Commerce. And I have to agree with what Donna has said. The Chamber of Commerce has grown just in leaps and bounds in the last few years, and that's, of course, great credit to the executive and also the folks who work for the Chamber of Commerce. Really quite wonderful. So I'm really pleased to be here with you as we celebrate Small Business Week here in Carleton Place. And as you've heard already, the theme, Aim High, Invest in Your Future. When I actually was looking at that, I looked on the website for the National Bank, and I read that, and I thought, you know what, that Aim High, Invest in Your Future could have been the motto for your council and staff in our first half of our term here in as council in Carleton Place. We've actually just passed the halfway mark. Aim high, invest in your future. I think really could be our motto. Because you know, we've worked diligently and strategically to move Carleton Place forward in a planned, sustainable, effective manner. And the results are measurable and they are significant. Now, twice in the past year, I've spoken to you about economic development here in our community, and this morning I'm going to update you where we are with the assistance of a PowerPoint presentation that, thanks to Jasmine Ralph. It's great to have young people who are really tech savvy, because without Jasmine, I wouldn't be having a PowerPoint. So thank you, Jasmine. And Jasmine's going to be speaking to you later. You know, for the past 11 months, council and staff, in consultation with the public, we've worked on our new official plan. And that sets out to the municipality's general goals and policies for future land development. Now, we've been working very hard and very cognizant that we make sure that our plan is a made for Carleton Place plan. Many other communities' OPs or official plans are very much cookie cutter. They got a cookie cutter tone to them, so that if you look at one community, you can actually see very similar statements in another community's official plan. We didn't want that. We wanted made in Carleton Place. And just as one example, our plan identifies 4 properties, and this is called the Mississippi District Strategic Properties, that can and will in the future play a strong role in the redevelopment of our downtown core. And those properties are the Old Finley Foundry property, MacArthur Island, the DRS property, and the wool growers. Now, these properties have been identified, and as they present opportunities for new residential and mixed residential and commercial development to complement and support our traditional downtown core. Now, the official plan is going to be sent to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Now, things have come to a bit of a grinding halt down in Toronto, so it might be a while before we actually get the official plan stamped by Toronto and sent back to us. But that's not going to prevent us from moving ahead with our development permit bylaw, and that implements the goals of the official plan through the design of buildings, streetscapes, and landscapes. Now, for some of you, this is old news, but for some of you, this is a brand new idea that Carleton Place actually came up with, working to make our development permit bylaw covering all our designations in town. So our development permit bylaw looks at streetscaping, what buildings look like, what landscaping is like over commercial, residential, and also employment lands. We were the first community in Ontario to do that, to look at all the designations. So this is our first chance to have a look at the development permit bylaw again. And because we're renewing it every 5 years, so we're tweaking it and making it work even better for our community. So stay tuned on that one. It's really going to be quite exciting to see where we're going to move forward with our official plan and our development permit bylaw. Now I'd like to move along and present to you really actually a shopping list from an economic development standpoint of all the things that we've accomplished in the second and third quarters of 2012. Well, we completed the annexation of 30 acres of land from Mississippi Mills in the Industrial Park North. Now, part of this property is going to become a snow dump. You know, these kinds of things, you talk about snow dump, you talk about sewer and water, people kind of roll their eyes, but you know what? We have to have a snow dump. Right? We pick up the snow, we got to put it somewhere. Back in the day, we've actually got photographs of the snow being dumped in the Mississippi River. Right? Can't do that anymore. So we've been looking around for a new snow dump because our snow dump currently is off Hooper Street, and that area is going to be developed fairly soon. So we found a new one, and that's in the Industrial Park North. On the same site, that will be our future public works yard, our public works yard over on Princess and Franklin Street. We're going to be there for probably the next 15 years or so. So we're going to be moving then over to the Industrial Park North. Now the McNeely Avenue extension, which connects Highway 7 and 15, is in preliminary stages. And we were very thrilled that we were able to, after a fair bit of lobbying, receive support from Lanark County to have it taken over as a county road. Now, you'd think that it would just be natural. Lanark County actually controls McNeely Avenue from Town Line Road up to Highway 7. So it doesn't seem natural that it would just continue when we have the extension, but we had to do a fair bit of lobbying on that. They will be responsible for the care and maintenance of that road once it's built. And then when it's time for twinning that road, then they have committed to doing that. Now, the McNeely Avenue extension opens a significant amount of land, approximately 200 acres. 200 acres currently that are within the boundaries of Carleton Place for both residential and commercial development. And then also on the other side, on the west side of Highway 15, we have 35 acres of employment land, all opened because of that McNeely Avenue extension. Now, as well as our usual road construction that's taken place this year, we've seen some really exciting construction. Mississippi Valley Conservation Headquarters, really exciting to see that on Highway 7 at Roy Brown Park. We've had an addition to the Family and Children's Services Complex in Industrial Park South, the redevelopment of McEwen's Gas Bar, and a significant development in Industrial Park North, which I'll address later. On the horizon, we have a new Max Milk and Gas Bar at McNeely and Coleman, a drive-through Tim's and convenience store at the current Esso gas station on Highway 7, a McDonald's restaurant on the Thruway property, and a major addition to the Heritage Inn in the downtown core. Now on the housing front, we've had over 60 starts this year, including the condos on Coleman, as well as continued building in Carleton Crossing and in Stonewater Bay. Now, actually, 60 starts sounds impressive, but it actually is a relatively low number for Carleton Place. And we expect that over the next 18 months, as Carlgate High, the New Globe property, the Olympia Homes, the area on Morris Street between Mississippi Road and Napoleon Street, when that comes on board, Steeple Hill and Cardell Building along the McNeely Avenue extension, when they all come on board, we're going to see some significant changes in the makeup of Carleton Place's residential communities. Plans are underway for a new retirement home in the downtown core on Laura Street at the end of MacArthur Avenue, and we expect very soon a major addition to the Waterside retirement home. So lots on the horizon. Now we're all well aware of the fact that there are going to be thousands of people moving to the Department of National Defense headquarters that are going to be at the Nortel complex. actually I shouldn't say it's the headquarters, NDHQ is going to remain downtown, but all the satellite offices from Tunney's Pasture and buildings in the downtown core are actually all going to move to the Nortel complex. And Carleton Place is of course in a prime position to benefit from this. We're close to the area, we're a family-oriented community, and the houses are reasonably priced. And I think that you all know that my husband was in the military, so I know that. As a military family, that's what we were looking for. Close to work, family-oriented, reasonably priced homes. Now, I can assure you that Arm Pryor, Kentville, and Mississippi Mills all see themselves as being equally marketable. So it's important that hand in hand with the developers and the real estate agents, and as soon as possible, that we develop a strategy to market our community directly to this group of potential residents. Our town is very dependent on residential assessment for taxes. And we all know how much residential growth builds commercial growth. So we need to stay tuned for that. It's something we're getting onto right away. We need to move on this. We've got folks already starting to move to Carleton Place in anticipation of their move to the Nortel building. Now moving along, our downtown core continues to be a concern for all of us around the council table. But we're heartened by the number of people who are drawn to the area through the various festivals. And I know that Kathy is here this morning, Kathy McCormick. Sorry, oh, way at back. Kathy just does a remarkable job at bringing people to the downtown core, doesn't she? All these wonderful festivals that she has created that make a real difference in our community and make us talked about in other communities. I had a friend who taught in Perth, and she said people didn't realize that she was from Carleton Place, and they were casually talking around the staff room, and they were saying, you know, Carleton Place has got festivals, so do we, but they do things differently there. And it was a very, very positive comment that our festivals have that different little edge to them. So thanks, Kathy, for all your work on that. So Kathy's festivals that bring people to the downtown core, and now the permanent seasonal home of the Farmers Market, Market Square, that acts as an anchor at one end of our main street, and as well as the new Carenbeck Community Centre, which houses our youth centre, T.R. Leger alternate school, before and after school child care programs, and also rooms available, of course, for rent to the public. Just a reminder to you that on Thursdays, a little commercial, Thursday we have an open house at the Carenbeck Community Centre from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and it'll give you a chance to have a look at it. Yesterday we housed 95 people in the gym at a new seniors forum, and I can see Louis is smiling there. Wasn't that a great event, Louis? Yeah, it was really terrific. And I should point out, we've got Louis Antonakis here, Jerry Flynn, and Councillor Rob Probert are all here, and we were very, very happy to present that seniors forum yesterday. It was really well attended, and we got some great feedback from the seniors about what they want and need here in Carleton Place. And just on a more mundane note, but I think a very important one, people have been asking for this, and we've actually heard about it yesterday at the Seniors Forum, is that we're going to have a signalized pedestrian crosswalk in the downtown. So that's on our books, on our budget this year, so coming soon. Now I'd like to speak to you a little bit about Scandia Industries in Industrial Park North. Well, under Thorbjornsson, Wally, better known to many of us as Wally the Viking, has created an exciting complex of buildings and has plans for more development in Industrial Park North. And actually you heard Kim speak about some folks who actually have their businesses in there, and we have some of them visiting here with us today. Since January, and maybe I've got my figures wrong, because when we visited Wally as a council in June, so between January and June, Wally had created 98 jobs in his complex. 6 months, 98 jobs. Amazing. And those are often small startup companies that he attracts to the area. Then he assists them with finding a suitable sized accommodation initially, with plans for growth as the building grows, as the business grows. And one of the particular success stories that I like to think about is Triacta, which relocated here from Almont and is supplied with materials from our very own DICA and our very own Virtucom cable products. And this is a great example of one of the synergies that were talked about, Matthew, right, in the Doyle Tech report that we received last year. Wonderful example. And Wally, congratulations for all your work up in the Industrial Park North. Wonderful. And now last, and this is something I talk about all the time because we can't let this go. Probably the most important of all from a long-term economic standpoint here in the community is our hospital, where we stand with the redevelopment of the hospital. We all know that a healthy community, and I'm talking about physical health, it's wonderful to have a hospital, but for economic health, we have to have a hospital. Now in June, the Champlain Lynn endorsed the redevelopment plans and the package was sent off to Toronto for consideration. So right now, it's currently at the Capital Planning Branch of the Ministry of Health. Now we'd expected to hear from the Capital Planning Branch in mid-September, but because ours is a unique plan, the Capital Planning Branch felt that comments were required from a larger number of experts. So it was sent out to them, and we actually expect to hear back at the end of the month. We're hoping that we're going to hear it back at the end of the month. Things changed quite a bit. The other day, I passed on a package to two lobbyists who I've been able to engage through some local political connections that I had. And I passed the packages on to them, and 2 hours later, Dalton gave his resignation in. So that changes the picture a little bit. We're hoping that the bureaucracy doesn't come to a grinding halt. So if with any luck at all, we should hear before the end of the month if we move from stage 1A to 1B in a 5-stage plan. Now that doesn't sound like it's too significant, but if we can get to 1B, it's very, very seldom that a hospital doesn't occur. So if we get to 1B, we know that we're moving along and that things will continue. It's getting to that 1B. So keep your fingers crossed, and if you know anybody in Toronto that you need to whisper to, please give them the whisper. Now, when I last spoke to you, I told you about how we were working hard to get our ducks in a row so that we were in a position to give a positive start to our economic development coordinator. And I'm very pleased that we did ensure that the community was ready for her to join the team. And you're going to hear from her in just a few minutes, Jasmine Ralph. I was proud to have served on the team who hired her, and I can tell you now that right from the very beginning of her interview, she sold herself as being intelligent, educated, and I have to add, ambitious young woman with strong skills that are going to serve our community well. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I was reading just recently a quotation from Henry Ford, and he said, "If you think you can, or you think you cannot, you're right. If you think you can, or you think you cannot, you're right." As someone who's always viewed the world from I think I can, or for those who know me quite well, I know I can perspective, I have complete confidence that as a town, we're on the right track. We're a great community, and we continue to aim high and plan for a very promising future. Thanks.